Assalamu alaikum. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. With this business webinar series, we are presenting to you a great learning experience at the comfort and convenience of your office. And the pursuit of better understanding, we decide to reach out to all our customers and help them explore the benefits and unleash the true potential of TallyPrime. This is our knowledge series where you will get to learn topic by topic everything around TallyPrime, from the most basic of features of the most crucial of business reports. My name is Mohammed Hassad, and I work with Mass Financial Consulting in Riyadh, and I will be your host for this session. With me, Mr. Khalid, who will be taking us through Tally. He is a Tally veteran who has closely involved in the product development. He used to work with the customers in understanding their requirement and introduce new features in Tally for the past 11 years. Before getting started, to ensure a flavorless experience, all the participants will remain on mute throughout the session to avoid any noise and disturbance. Please be informed that we are recording this session as to make the webinar available for future reference and will be shared through our YouTube channel. We hope to have uninterrupted session. If you have any network or technical glitch, we apologize in advance. We will try our best to make this experience seamless. If you have any question during the presentation, please type them in the question box on your control panel. We'll bring them up during the Q&A at the end. Now let me hand over the session to Mr. Khalid. Mr. Khalid?
Yes, please.
Please.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Azad, for your brief introduction about the session as well as me. And I will take you through the topic managing multiple currencies in TallyPrime. So, as you are aware that normally any business, most of the businesses across the globe, they import as well as export goods to other countries. So while we are doing this, we would be using different currencies or a common currency to pay the importer or the exporter. Hence, what we will be doing is we will be using different currencies to transact from the place or from your system. So to accommodate this, Tally allows you to use multiple currencies for importing and exporting. So let me take you through how to let me take you through how we will be working on this. The first of it is to create currencies, and we could define the rates, and we'll record the transactions where we do a purchase and a sale, and then followed by printing the invoices. And later on, when we have paid the money or received the money, there could be some amount of a very small quantum that will be gained because of the fluctuation in the currency market. It could be gain or it could be loss. It is possible that because of the currency valuations changing every day, volatile situation being there, we could be losing during the exchange, or we could be gaining during the exchange. So how do we set that off? Also, we'll have a look in Tally. And how you can view your reports, though there are no formal reporting in Tally on foreign exchange. We will see how we can have various reports shown in multiple currencies, those which we have transacted. So I will be recording to demonstrate this entire process. I will be recording the transactions for purchase and sales, and then receipts and payments, which I have already done. So let me take you to the to TallyPrime. And in TallyPrime, whenever you have to start off with currencies, you will notice that uh, you will have to create the currencies. To create the currencies, you have to get into the option create, and there is an option here called currency. So let me create a currency which is like um, AED, Arab Emirates dinar, and I could call it as dinar. Number of decimal places asked for, we can provide that. If you want money to be shown, amounts to be shown in millions, you could do that. You could Tally gives you the option of suffixing this symbol to the amount. If you want it, yes, you could say yes to avoid any confusion. You could also have a space between the unit, between the currency and the amount, between the currency symbol and the amount. Similarly, you could have words representing the decimal places. For example, uh, if you're creating, while you're creating this AED, you could give the halala or the lower currency of dinar, which is there. In Saudi, it is halala, and in India, it is paisa. So we could give that. And if it is not required, you could just omit that and continue. Now that you have created the currency, you can set the rates of exchange in Tally. So here I have already done that. For example, I have done that for as on a particular date, I have set it for USD. So when I press enter, you will see that um, there is a standard rate that has been set. This standard rate is it could be the market rate at which the currency is trading on a particular day, right? And so let's say for AED, I get 1.25 per SAR, right? Sorry, um, per AED, right? So I could say SAR 1.25 per A- Arab Arab Emirates dinar. Okay. Now, here it is asking for specified rates. If you see, there is a selling rate and there is a buying rate. So, what is this? Selling rate is something where you are giving it back to the bank. That means the bank is buying from you. And buying rate is the rate at which bank is giving it to you. You are buying it from the bank. So selling rate is actually the rate of exchange when you buy it, sorry, when the bank buys it from you, and buying rate is the rate of exchange when you are buying it from the bank. So you can mention this now, or you could leave it and mention it later when you are also transacting. So the option is left to you because it varies from day to day, and when you record that in the voucher, the receipt voucher or the payment voucher, it would come in as a particular rate. For example, I have defined something for USD 3.73 as on 1st January. I think the rate of transaction was, if you go back to um, this part, I have mentioned as on while I was giving the rate of exchange, I had given in case of Saudi Arabia, in case of USD, I had given 3.75 SAR per dollar, and while I recorded the transaction after a particular duration, I had mentioned it in the voucher as 3.73 per dollar. So this is how you give the rates of exchange. So having mentioned, the standard rate, even for example, the standard rate could be for a longer time. That is why it is normally mentioned. After having given this, I can go and create the ledgers. For example, I have already created a ledger. Um, in case of Alpine Incorporated, which is a US based company, which is exporting goods to Saudi Arabia, and I have given the default currency as dollar, right? I have mentioned the default currency as dollar. Now, how do you get this? If if you click on F12, there is an option here. Use currency for bank or cash ledgers to adjust forex gain or loss. So when you enable this, though the functionality is to enable currency symbol only for bank and cash ledgers, Tally also gives you the option of enabling the currency for a particular ledger when
Colleague,
that
sir.
particular option is set to yes. Yes, please.
Sir, your screen not visible.
Screen is not visible. I have shared it.
No, sir. Please check.
But my audio is visible, right? Audio you're
Yeah,
hearing.
audio is clear, sir. Please on the screen sharing, sir. I think it's off.
Is it there now?
No, sir.
Oh, I had shared it then itself.
Just click one more time share button, sir.
Yeah, I've shared it now again. Uh, Launch picture in
Uh,
picture.
click now, okay, sir.
Okay. So shall I go ahead?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay, I'm just closing these PIP modes. Okay, lovely. So do you want me to quickly go through what I've done? Okay, so here I've created a ledger called Alpine Incorporated, and Alpine Incorporated I've set the default transacting currency as dollar. Now, how did I get this? Uh, in F12 there is an option here which says use foreign currency for bank or cash ledgers, and I set it to yes. Though here it says only for bank and cash ledgers. Uh, this when you set this option, Tally also enables the default currency to we could set the default currency for a particular ledger, right? So similarly, what I've also done is I've also set it for Divine Trading Corporation, Divine Trading Company, and if you see, I've set it to SGD. SGD is Singapore dollar, and I've given the country as Singapore. Now, having done this, I would quickly take you through the transactions which I've recorded on the daybook. If you see, let me show you for January. I have made a purchase from Alpine, right? And I have uh, set the purchase as import exempted, the nature of transaction, and I have been dealing with the required quantity. And if you see, I have here, I have just said I am buying it at the standard rate because as of now, the rate is 3.75. So I have given that. And if you see, Tally automatically converts, which is close to about $6 lakh, and giving the conversion rate, it takes it to 2,250,000, right? So this is the exchange rate, and after doing this, I can go ahead and print my purchase invoice. And while printing it, I have to set an option where I can print with multi-currency. So for example, I get into print current, and I say configure, and you see there is an option here, show base currency and foreign currency for totals. I have to set this to yes. So when I set this to yes, the same conversion will get applied, the same values will get printed in the invoice also. So let's have a look at the preview. I say Alt I. This is getting printed as an here it goes. Right? A simple invoice, and if you see, um, all these items are there, and the numbers, the 200 numbers, the value at $6 lakh, and the conversion rate is printed. When you set that option, print this, show base and foreign currencies for total. You have to set this to yes when you want to print it in multiple currencies. So having done this, later date, I will record a payment transaction. I have bought, the goods were delivered. After a month, I'm making the payment, and it's a normal payment voucher which you will be passing and to Alpine. Uh, and if you see, I have paid them $6 lakh, but the rate of exchange had come down. So when I bought it, it was at 3.75, but a month later it has come down to 3.73. So thereby I am paying to what was paid earlier was 2,25,000, 2,250,000, but now I am paying 2,238,000. So I have gained a very small amount due to the exchange rate coming down. So there is, if you see, there is a difference of 12,000 SAR. Right? Now, if if we have a look at it, just a minute. Now, if you have a look at the balance sheet, you will see that there is an unadjusted forex gain or loss for a particular period. And if I am gaining, it appears on the liability side, and if I'm making a loss due to the exchange rates, this value will appear on the asset side. So I can now set this off by passing a journal with a voucher class. So Tally allows me to pass a journal with a fixed value and a fixed ledger. And I could create that voucher class. Voucher class is nothing but a tag or a flag that is given in the journal to pass a respective transaction. That's it. So how do I do that? So I could get into alter, get into the voucher types, and I can get into journal. And at the end of it, if you see, I have created a class called forex gain or loss. So just press enter over it, and you will see there's a tag there, a flag there again, which says, do you want to use this for forex gain or loss adjustments? I would say yes. And here there is another ledger which I've created under indirect or direct expenses, which is to write off that losses. And now I can go and pass a transaction to set this value off. So what I could go is I could I just have to go and this enable that particular. I have marked it optional. I'll just have passed this transaction, or okay. So let me pass this transaction once again. Right here. Um, okay, I will just mark this optional again and show you how to pass it. I go into voucher. I press F7. I get forex gain or loss. Let me change the date to 31/1, and it is Alpine. I have to choose the ledger, and it automatically picks up the difference value here. So if you see, and after doing this, you just need to save the transaction. Now, if you go back to your balance sheet, you will see, okay, there's a double transaction that has happened. That is why it is coming. But otherwise, this value gets set off. Now here it shows as net profit is 12,000 after setting it off. Right? So similarly, I have recorded a sale transaction, and In the sales transaction, I have I've passed during the month of February for demo purpose, right? Um, I would remove the optional. I'm exporting the same packing machines at a rate of $5,500, amounting to $8,25,000, and there is a conversion which is given at 2.81. 1 SAR is equal to 2.81. Sorry, 1 SGD is equal to 2.81 SAR at that rate, and the total number of uh, the total amount is shown here. It is 2,318,250, right? And at 2.81 we have transacted, and the same thing, I'm passing a receipt at a later on date on 28th of February, and if you see, I have paid one. I have paid at 2.82 per SGD. So thereby the value is down. And finally, I have now, if you have a look at the balance sheet, you still have an adjusted forex gain or loss of 8,250 SAR. So I could go back and set this. My balance sheet sets it off. So I have not gained anything or nor made any losses on the foreign currency. So now you could have a look at Jan to Feb, and there it is. Similarly, uh, you can also have a look at your reports in foreign currency. For example, you could go to display more reports, get into trial balance, and if you want, you could you see here an option here called new column, and you can have that for Jan, and you can have a you can view the report in a particular currency that you desire to at the defined exchange rates. And here is the default value that is coming in SAR on the left hand side, and on the right hand side you will find it in the in dollars. So if you see, uh, the currency is given here just below the period. The left hand column talks about is in SAR, and the right hand column is in USD. Similarly, uh, you could also go and include any opening balances that you have for a ledger from, let's say, from Alpine. I have some opening balances, and I could give that in, let's say, he owes me about, or I owe him about $3,000. I just have to give this. So it automatically converts at the standard rate. If you have any questions so far, you can post it on the chat and we will take it up after this. Azhar, you're there? I would like to pass back to Azhar. Azhar?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can take it forward from here. I've just finished the session.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sure. Thank you. Please share the PPT, sir. Next sessions.
Yes.
Q&A section done.
No, Q&A, I'm yet to receive anything.
Please
Yeah,
set the
sorry,
Q.
sorry, I have this. Uh, yes, can we incorporate opening balances in multi-currency? Yes, I have shown it to you how to do it. And then we have, can we track bill-wise details for ledgers with multi-currency? No, Tally does not give you the option to track bill-wise details for ledgers in multi-currency. This is not this. They have disabled the bill-wise details for any ledger that deals with foreign currency. Is it necessary to use voucher class for adjusting forex gain or loss? Yes, it is necessary that you have to use that to set off your gains or losses. You have to use the flag and the voucher class. Is it necessary for me to give the buying and the selling rates while creating currencies? Not required, because the currency values are volatile every day. You don't have to create. You don't have to give it while creating the currencies. You can give it even at the voucher level. If you see, uh, if you see my currencies while I was creating, for example, rates of exchange we get into either create or alter. You see, it is taken from the last voucher. I have not specified it here. Both hold good. If you feel that yes, the rate you could specify it here, it is fine. But if you give it at the voucher, it takes it from there. Right. If you have any other questions, you can type it and send it to us. We'll answer it now. Uh, if you have no, if there are no questions, can we take it forward, Azhar?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Uh, change the slide, sir. Okay, now that we have covered the topic and addressed your question as well, it is time for us to wrap up. Thank you. Thanks again for joining us today, and we wish you great business here ahead. See you on the next one. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you and Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, colleagues, sir.
You're welcome.